Hi, happy Cinco de Mayo. Ellen from Ellen's Crafty Decor here. And what we're gonna do tonight is a really quick project using our not our board and base, our pedestal. It's called something, base, not base and pedestal, but it's the pedestal one. But it's a 5x7, same size as the board and base. And we're gonna do, I have mixed drinks about feelings. Thought it was quite appropriate for Cinco de Mayo. So, all right, so first thing we're gonna do is take the transfer out of the package. Okay, and you can see where there's these white lines is preset for where you can cut and trim, and then you can use whatever pieces you want to use. You don't necessarily have to use them all, but you combine with other transfers from other surfaces as well. Okay, so let me trim this. And we have the little margarita glass. We got the little saying that says, I have mixed drinks about feelings. I feel that way sometimes. I don't know about you. Especially these times right now, they're making me crazy. Okay, just a little bit of ghosting on there. So I'm gonna wipe that off, just make sure it's clean and ready to go. And I forgot to get my water bath. Excuse me for 1 second, so sorry. Amateur move here, you are not supposed to do that. Yep, you're not supposed to, forget and walk away from forget something and then walk away from the camera. Yeah, that's how you know it's real. There's no take two on this for me. So we have our little container of water over here, which is where we want to put our transfers when we're finished, so that the paste does not dry to the transfer itself. And I think what I am going to do is I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see me work. I'm still trying not to mess that all up. All right, so I've got my water bath over here. I've got everything for my project here, I think. And I think, hopefully, you can see it all. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the drink at the top, and I think I'm gonna put the words at the bottom. So I don't want it all the way at the very top because we had to put some things in these drinks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it where I think it will work. And again, just kind of eyeball it. Looks pretty centered. Make sure I can get the words down here. Yep, that looks good. Okay. All right, so the colors I'm going to use today, because I'm going to make it, since it's Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to make a margarita in our margarita glass. So I'm going to do a traditional margarita. So I'm going to use our citrus splash paste, which is a lime green color. And I'm going to use that for the drink itself. The drink itself, and then I'm going to do the stem. I think I'm going to use grayish for the stem just so you can tell that it's different. I don't want it to look like it's got the drink in the entire container there. So we're going to open that up. Okay. And I'm going to take a small squeegee and just, this is a little foamy kind of paste here, but I checked it out earlier and I think it's going to work just fine. Just want to be careful here. Get as close as I can without messing it up, hopefully. But again, if you've seen me do any of these before, what's nice about it, usually you mess it up, there's an easy way to fix it. You wash it off and start over again. Okay. All right, put the rest of that in there. And then I'm going to use the grayish for the stem. So because the stem is small, I'm going to use just this little bitty piece of a squeegee, which is basically all it is. Take the old squeegee, cut it in half, and I think I'm going to use grayish for that whole part right there. All right, let's take that off and see how that looks. Drop that in my water bath over here. And let that dry. So we're gonna make sure it is dry before we move on. Just using a little craft dryer here to make sure I don't smear any of the paste. Okay. And to let that sit and just make sure it's dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do the words at the bottom before I add the accents to the drink. So I think I'm just gonna give right about there. That's about the center. That looks pretty close. Okay, so I'm gonna press that down. And I'm just gonna use white for that so that it stands out against the black background really well. So I'm gonna take another squeegee here and just very quickly we're gonna chalk that. Remove the excess. You wanna try to make sure you have no lines because when it dries it will show up. Pull that off. Throw that in the water bath. Okay. So, and we'll dry that just a little bit. I wish we had a place around here that you could get, that I knew of, that you could get takeout margaritas since we're all still under quarantine. It'd be a really good day for some. But I'm not familiar with any place around here that does that. I should have probably checked into that a little bit more carefully, but I didn't want to make a whole bunch. All right, so this is going to be our lime wedge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that's dry first of all. Okay, and I am going to put that like it is in on the edge of the glass. I think we'll just do it like that. So, because this will be under the liquid of the water, I am going to try to be very, very careful and not chalk that section. First time trying something like this, so we'll see how I do. Other people, they tend to be maybe a little more professional than me, and they get really close. And I'm also, oh, see, I already messed up. That we can fix. That's easy. Try to get real close in there with the small squeegee. Spread that paste. And see how we did. Oh, that actually did come out pretty good. I wish that were darker though. I may have to make an adjustment there. I wonder if I could chalk over. Let me pull that out of my water real quick and let that dry. All right. Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't use that one. It's just a disinfecting wipe. Get all the ink off of that. Not ink, chalk paste. It's not ink. Kind of dry the back of that. I'm gonna let that dry out of the way for a little bit, because as I'm looking at it, I don't know if you can tell, but like right here, it almost looks like it pulled up some of the chalk, and I almost wish the drink were a little bit darker. I think it would be okay I tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist, but I'm going to show you what you're going to do. All you need to do, if you get off the side of the transfer like this, is just take a Q-tip, wait till it's dry, or it's almost completely dry there, and just, all I did was rub it with the end of a Q-tip. Go back over. Now if it's really dry, or there's any leftover ghosting or anything from the mark you made, you can wet that and also use that to get things off a little bit more. All right, so, okay, that's almost dry. Just make sure it's dry enough. Everything one more hit just to make sure. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my fuzzing cloth, but not the fuzzing side of my fuzzing cloth. There's a microfiber side that is used for, can be used for drying your transfers as well. But it won't pick up the fuzz in the back. Yeah, it's good. So move that out of the way. Running out of space. Okay. Now, because I'm going over the top of other ink, I'm going to go ahead, or not ink, other paste, I'm going to fuzz it. And I'm just going to use the sleeve of my shirt because I do not want it to stick too tightly to the board and pull off my chalk paste. Now sometimes I have really good success with this and sometimes not. I think sometimes it depends on the consistency of your paste, and it also depends on your surface and how well you fuzz it and how patient you are. So this is going to be tricky. I don't usually put it back on, and I'm going to just gently I have it very closely lined up. We'll see how well it works. And again, if it doesn't, we always can do it over again. So I'm going to just put another layer basically of this lime green color. I think it's a little too thick, my paste. It could use a little bit more water. Make sure it's, but not in the middle of doing it. That wouldn't be a good time to try to add more water. See how that turns out. Maybe, or maybe it's an epic fail. Oh. Back in the water that goes. I love that. Just having a little bit more of the color for the drink. I just love it. Love it. So I'm gonna dry that. So we've got our little lime wedge stuck in the glass, on the edge of the glass. A margarita glass. Now this transfer also comes with a cherry, which can go into lots of mixed drinks. Because I'm doing a traditional regular margarita, I'm not going to do that. But we do have a little stir, and I am going to add that. I'm just going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that's really dry first. So we do not want to mess it up now. So close to the end. All right. So I'm going to put the stir stick coming out of the glass. But again, I'm going to be very careful not to press down on the transfer where it's overlapping into the place I've just recently chalked. And I think we'll use white for our little stir stick. Probably should have got a smaller one, but that's all right. Won't be difficult. There we go. We just need a little bit. And I'm going to use this just to kind of pull up the edge so I don't mess it up. Throw that in there. Oh, how cute. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry for a minute, and I'm gonna throw all of my tools that I used, all my squeegees and stir sticks, cover up and put paste so it doesn't dry out anymore. If your paste is too dry, what's nice is just a little spray of distilled water works wonders and brings it back to a good consistency. So I'm going to choose not to use the cherry on this particular one. So just move that out of the way, but of course you could, if you so wanted. You could even put a little cherry down, like as an accent down here. Oh, I have a thing with red and lime green because I love lime green and red, or even lime green and like a bright pink for Christmas time. And that's what it makes me think of. So I have a hard time putting red in with the lime green color. It's called Spring Citrus Splash, wrong one. Citrus Splash was the color we used for the margarita. And then I used an old color for the lime wedge. It's called Parakeet. It was from at least a year ago. But they have some beautiful greens available now that you could easily substitute for that. So there's that. So it's gonna go on the board and pillar stand. That's what this sucker is called, the board and pillar stand. So it will stand up, okay, and give a little bit of height. That'd be cute on a little bar or something where you have your drinks. If you have that, I don't seem to have one of those in my house. But what I think we're going to do is I have it needs a little something, something, something. So I'm going to use just some ribbon that I have that kind of has some coordinating colors in it. It's got some bright colors, but it also has that like green in there. So, and then I have this one, this is back from my scrapbooking days, but that one says so happy, so happy. I think, let's see how this looks if we just tie this around. And sometimes I make a bow, sometimes I just knot it. Just give it see what happens here. We may not use both of them. We may just need a little accent there. Adds just a little something to it. Let me move that up. Oh, quit sticking your hand in there, Ellen. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim off the ends here. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. It's subtle, but it adds just a little something extra to it. So there's our finished project. I'll tip this up a little bit more. See if I can hold it up a little bit better for you. Okay. You could easily add more ribbon if you wanted to, but I think this is enough. I might set that on a bar top, or if you have even a coffee bar, to be honest, that can be your bar. That would work cute too. I don't have one of those because I have a really small kitchen, but someday I will. So there is our Cinco de Mayo, happy Cinco de Mayo Day project. I have mixed drinks about feelings because sometimes I like to share them and sometimes I don't, but I definitely would like one of these. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night.